And then second place was Natalie Miller with a pretty just straightforward and like consistent Dragapult build.
Yeah, there's like nothing too crazy here. It is a Dusknoir build, and we'll take a look at another build or two here that are not Dusknoir builds. I am happy to see because I played with Dragon Ball Dusknoir for the first time before the tournament. Nucci wanted to play some games, so I played some games against him. And seeing the 3-2-1 Dusknoir line is cool to see because that's what after playing some games with the deck, I was like, I think you need 3-2-1 Dusknoir, like or 3-2-2. I guess you could play two Dusknoir, but I think two Dusclops comes before to Dusknoir after playing some games with the deck, and so I was happy to see that. Now I agree with that. It kind of like reaffirms my thoughts on that. It was cool to see.
Yeah, kind of interesting to see Natalie here not playing the exact same 60 as
That was interesting for sure.
Brent and crew, I would assume. So this is the 60 that Brent and Aiden Coos used to get top cut at Merida, and then what James Cox used, who's one of the testing partners for Natalie, to also get top 8 at EUIC here. But this build from Natalie, it's just a couple cards different. There's a third Lance in here. There's
Yeah.
no Lost Vacuum. It's a 3-2-1 Dusknoir build instead of a 3-1-2 Dusknoir. Um, and I think the credit for this list also goes to Ethan Hegster Heggy. Shout outs to Ethan showing up for the casters. I believe I saw that on Twitter that Natalie credited Ethan for the list here.
Yeah. The 3-2-1, man. That's it. Dusclops is just like it's so good is right now, and it's so much easier to get to than a Dusknoir. It's so hard to get to Dusknoir. It's so easy to get to Dusclops.
I
Yeah, there was a
actually
go ahead.
queued up and played a couple games on TCG Live today with this deck. Just wanted to try it out a little bit. And for some reason, dude, I hate that they reset you from Arceus League all the way down to Pokeball tier. It's like absolutely terrible. We have to play through so many games just to get back to like actually having competitive games. I feel like because I played against 4 Flareon box decks.
Yeah, there's a lot of Evolutions decks in the lower. You know what's really funny though? When you initially get to Arceus tier, you go back to playing like weird meme decks. It's because
Yeah.
it's like and for anyone who plays League of Legends, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like people are just trying to get to a certain point, and then they kind of give up on trying, and they just go back to their trolling or memeing or whatever. Like
Yeah.
there's certain plateau or certain ranks in League of Legends where people just want to get to the next, just get to the platinum or diamond, and then they just kind of only play games there just to make sure they don't decay, and then they just like stay there at that rank.
Yeah.
No intention of trying to go past that.
But I will say it was very nice that when I was playing those decks that Eevee only has 50 HP. So that was pretty nice for Dusclops for
Popped
sure.
them, took them.
But yeah, very good looking list for sure. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see people playing, this 60 within a couple cards moving forward for, Vancouver and stuff in a couple weeks.
Maybe, but there was a couple other interesting lists. I think we could like stay on the Dragapult train here for a little bit before we talk about the rest of the top 8 lists. We could take a look at the list here. Is this Vinny's list?
Yeah, this is Vinny's list, which Gabrielle also used to win in the seniors division. And yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. I mean, there's a bunch of really unique standout cards here. There's a Monkey Dory with a Darkness Energy. There's a Klefki. There's a Blood Moon Ursaluna. This is definitely just like a anti-meta almost. I don't know that it's necessarily anti-meta. Like Klefki plus Monkey Dory kind of fits that mold, right? Ursaluna is
Yeah.
just kind of like a good card that people haven't been playing in this deck, but it's kind of nice, honestly, to give you that extra little push at the end of a game. Being damage capped at 200 with Dragapult can be a problem for this deck to like close out games sometimes. So having that extra push with Blood Moon or Saluna, you also can like Alakazam to move some damage to make it do a little bit more. It's pretty good, honestly.
Dude, there's a Defiance vest. What the heck? What do we got that in there for? Yeah, there definitely is some interesting cards in here. Some that I have to like think. I mean, the Monkey Door seems really good in Mirror. Ursa Luna seems like it could be even the play you go for aggressively up against Miraidon because you can like turn 2 Crispin to Ursa Luna and knock out their Iron Hands. Um, the Klefki is actually something I thought about. I was like, I wonder if Dragapult players will include Klefki for the Miraidon matchup, and I assume that's what it's here for. I can't imagine what else the Klefki is actually played for. I mean, there's probably situations where you could push it in the mirror match, just shut down Luminator and Rotom, which isn't terrible, but I assume it's mostly here for the Miraidon matchup. Go first, push Klefki. It is tough for them to deal with that for sure. So I did think about that going to the tournament. I was like, I wonder if Dragon Ball players will go as far as playing Klefki. Turns out some did. But yeah, besides that, interesting cards. Besides that, right? You got the Defiance Vest, or not the Defiance Vest. You got you have the Defiance Vest, Unfair Stamp over Crystal, The Ursaluna's in there. Lost City does still have the Temple Sinnoh, but also has a Lost City in here. A little bit higher of an energy count as well. You see the 4-3, 4 Psychic, 3 Fire, probably to help try and make up for the lack of the crystal and trying to get that turn 1 attachment down to a Dreepy as soon as possible so you can actually get off a potential of a, oh, wait, there's no rare candy in here. Am I trolling? Did I just miss that?
Yeah, there's no rare candy at all. No rare
Dude,
candy, no Night Stretcher either, which I guess is not as good when you don't have
I
Dusknoir in your deck, but
didn't even
is
realize that at
still a nice
first.
way to get energy cards back, right?
The super unset. All right, there's a little bit more going on here than I initially saw because I looked at some of the lists earlier, but I didn't like look at them that hard, I guess. I didn't even realize the lack of rare candy in
There's no
here.
Rotom in here either.
Yeah, double Luminion. So still trying to play heavily for like the 4 Sealstone combo, but not concerned with the Rotom draw. Oh, yeah, but there's 2 Badoos. Right, we're kind of locked in on just Badooing and getting Dracloaks online as soon as possible. There's the 3 lands to help with that. The other list I was going to say that we could bring up and take a look at, which is like a little bit closer to this one than Natalie's, is Towards. Um,
Yeah.
Now I'm actually kind of curious. Did Tord play rare candy? There's 1 rare candy in Tord's list. Okay. But once again, unfair stamp, no crystal. So kind of close to be honest to not yeah, it's pretty it's not like not too far away to be honest from what the Fernandez were playing. It is like a lot slower of a build, right? 4 Lance actually in this one over the 4th Arvin. So I feel like a lot of similar ideas. Also has the Ursaluna, no Monkey Dory, of course, but
Four Lance is just the new four Tapu Lele. Let's get it.
then there's a Latias, which I assume is for when you want to go with like an early Ursaluna hit, so you can move it after that. But there's also 2 Turo in this list as well. How many Turo was there Turos in the other list?
Yeah,
The
Vinny
Fernandez
had
list?
one.
Yeah. Dude, these are some interesting builds. I think there's a lot to look at for Dragapult moving forward, all just based on these 2 lists. Like the list that Natalie played was basically the go-to way to play Dragapult, right?
Yeah.
Um, with the Dusknoir and everything. And then now, yeah, there's all this Ursaluna stuff going on. Makes things interesting. Um, and I guess there's one more Dragapult list to take a look at. This one is not as crazy, even though it is very underplayed. Oscar Madsen's been hyping up this deck for forever, right? I feel like he's been talking about it on Twitter a lot, sharing his list. It's the Dragapult Charizard deck, which yeah, even though it's the least played of all the builds for sure, actually, I don't even know. I guess in comparison to the Ursaluna build, maybe not. But this is a deck that like basically everyone knew about. I feel like everyone knew about this deck, but I feel like a lot of people didn't give it the time of day. I'm definitely one of those players. I'm still not sure I'm convinced this is the way to play Dragapult if you're going to play Dragapult. But I mean, Charizard's not bad. Can't be bad to have that alongside Dragapult. 2 super powerful Pokemon right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, in all of these decks, Dragapult or Dusknoir, Charizard, Blood Moon, Ursaluna, they're all trying to fix the problem of like Dragapult is a broken attacker of extremely good card, but it's like capped as to what it can do at the end of games, right?
Yeah.
So Ursaluna helps that, Dusknoir helps that, and Charizard helps that. That's like what all of these are trying to do. So which one of the three is the best? I don't know. I think there's like merit to all of them for sure.
Yeah, it is tough. And I think the one you want to play is probably the one that gives you the biggest edge in the mirror match. Which I could see being the Monkey Dory approach for sure.
Probably. Yeah, the Monkey
Yeah.
Dory has to be insane in the mirror match for sure.
Yeah, because I see Dragapult. I think
I think
Dragapult's gonna be the most popular deck for a little while now, and it might even become more popular because I think Gardevoir would is maybe gonna fall off. I wouldn't be surprised if Gardevoir, because Gardevoir is still super popular at this tournament. I wouldn't be surprised to see Gardevoir fall off and Dragapult even maybe get more popular.
it was super popular, but there's only two in top 32.
For what, Gardevoir?
Yeah.
It
Or
did not
three,
have.
three, three in top 32.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like an okay showing. I think honestly, the biggest thing for me for Gardevoir
It
that
it is an okay showing, but like when you consider its play rate and then also its
yeah,
conversion from day one to day two, 16% of the day two field, none in top 16 even. I think that's a pretty bad showing, to be
I don't.
honest.
Honestly, I feel like the variance of getting top 16 at tournaments right now is like because you can go from your winning in to top 32, right? So getting
Yeah.
top 16 isn't like a great indicator of like success at a tournament, right?
I guess
You
that's fair
potentially go
because
further.
that's literally what happened to
Yeah,
Sebastian Lashmet here.
yeah, exactly, right. So I'd say like Sebastian still had a better tournament performance than if a Gardevoir had won up to top 16, right? There just wasn't any of those, but he was there on the winning end to get to top 8, right? And then lost to the Dialga. Um, yeah, I think the biggest thing with Gardevoir for me that I first didn't have this initial impression in this format, but definitely after Merida, played more in the format. I think the Dragapult matchup is like really close to 50-50, if not Dragapult favored. Like I think it's like a really, really close matchup, Gardevoir versus Dragapult. And that doesn't bode well for Gardevoir when uh another 10% of the meta is pretty tough in like a Miraidon deck, right? So yeah. Uh Gardevoir seems it doesn't seem great right now, honestly. Gardevoir seems like it's kind of a tough spot, especially if Dragapult is actually favored against it.